Hi Anusha, welcome to NEXWEB Podcast.
Thank you so much. We just hit 123K yesterday,
Okay.
and I think it was 100K 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago when COVID started. I was working somewhere else. I had to leave that job, or maybe I had to do something else. Then I started Milestone.
What are the pros and cons of becoming a PT, IELTS, and NATI tutor according to your perspective?
There are a lot of pros. That's why I'm in this profession. There are some cons, but I should overlook it because there are so many advantages. So the first advantage of becoming a PD tutor is you can talk to so many students. You can learn how they are progressing, and you can help them. So when they get their desired score, that's the best feeling you have, especially those students who were struggling for a lot of time.
Yesterday I was watching your TikTok, literally I was watching all of your TikTok and I was like watching your experiments, and you have also mentioned that sometimes you used to skip a repeat sentence to just know what sort of marks comes when I skip, and sometimes you used to give over space. Like, what are those experiments? Like, students are confused on those topics, and you are experimenting. What sort of changes does it make in PT score?
So, because this is a computerized, computer based test, and the computer is the examiner who will mark you, there are a lot of loopholes that humans can find, but computers cannot, because computers are just programmed to check that. Okay, so if the computer is asked to check, okay, how many words does this student write, then they'll just check how many words they write. They don't check what quality the writer is writing, or the content they are writing. So that's why I have to keep going and taking that, see, okay, double spacing, what's the problem with that? Single spacing, no spacing, okay, and double enter, single enter in essays, in write from dictation, spelling errors, how many spelling errors. So for all those experiments, I go and check it. Once I checked for listening. So what happened in that test was I skipped all the small questions, like summer, select missing words, and all those small, like 1 mark or 2 mark questions. I still got 81, which means 70, which means 18 each. So if one is trying for 79, they can still skip all those questions, doing all the other questions right. So students have to understand that all other questions should be right, and you can skip those tiny questions and still get 79 plus.
Yeah. Uh, Anusha, previously you have mentioned that you tried in one of the center for speaking, and you just literally didn't get marks, just got 58, and you stopped going to center. Like, I live in Canberra, and I can see some of the PT students here. Like, when there are only two institute like PT center in Canberra, and sometimes they become so irritated while going to the PT center, and they just skip Canberra and just go to Sydney or Melbourne to give the exam. Like, what sort of mindset is that? Is it to create a positive vibes on their own, or like what you suggest for them?
So it depends on rumors as well. If somebody has told them that, okay, this center is not good, don't go to that center, then they'll anyway pay for the flight, or they drive to Sydney, because Sydney has a lot of options. There are, even in city you can go to so many centers. But Canberra, personally, I think that there is some issue with that center in Canberra. Even I've experienced a lot of students from Canberra, and even if they are good enough, they don't get the marks they deserve. So maybe again, personal opinion, but something is wrong in Canberra Institute, Canberra PD Center. But the mindset that the students have, I think, is again like whatever their friends say, they believe in that. Whatever they hear from YouTube or TikTok, they believe that. But to them, I suggest that listen to your heart. Don't listen to others. Listen to your own heart first, and you can include their suggestions as well. But first is your preparation. Without preparation, if you go to any center in Nepal, in India, wherever, you are not going to pass. So prepare yourself, and even despite those preparations, if you get low score, then you can change the center.
Yeah, I believe that it's a rumor. Like when you go to the center again and again and you are not getting marks, you become frustrated to that own place, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's the reason they are migrating to different places to give the exam. But the PT structure is the same, the format is same, the mic position is the same, the invigilator are like they are helping the you. Like there is nothing wrong in going to the center to give the exam, but the problem is yourself. I think the mindset should be changed.
Yeah, yeah. So again, we cannot blame individuals because they have their own experiences. Um, but what I think is for invigilators, there is some, like, because invigilators are humans, they are not robots.
Yeah.
So I think they also their behavior also affect us. You know, how they speak, how they give instructions, they affect us a lot. Like, it's a customer service. So in customer service, when they are not handling customers well, you don't want to go to that shop. You know, so it's the same thing. So for invigilators, um, I'd say if they behave well, you can go to that center. But if you hear from somebody that they did not behave well, then avoid that center, because the first impression should be good, you know, because you enter the test center, you see them. If they are not welcoming enough, then why would you go to that center?
You have spoken social media, one of the social media that you have faced a bad experience from one of the invigilator,
Yeah.
and you were frustrated and you were like thinking how the students are going to give the exam. You are a tutor and you know what sort of format is coming on the PT exam. You know the structure, you know the techniques, how to give the PT exam. But there are some students who literally don't know what PT is, but they are going to give exam. And you have spoken on one of the social media that because the invigilator was rude, so the mindset of those students were becoming worse. What do you want to say on this perspective?
Yeah, I think they have changed from that. I think they learned their lesson, because later on I did not hear such things about them or about that center. I heard that something has changed over there. Um, Now, that was in Nepal specifically. I went to Nepal and took one test there. What I expected was like the hospitality they have in Sydney. I was expecting that one because obviously it's an international, you know, PD's test is an international test. But what I got was very like a local kind of, you know, behavior from the examiner, from the test invigilator. The instructions were not clear. Her speech was not clear. Students, like, see, in Nepal, we don't have the habit of speaking in English or listening to
Of
somebody
course,
speaking in
that's
English.
not our native language. Yeah.
Yeah, um so students were like, even I was not able to understand her, you know, the way she was speaking, like blah blah. No, so I'm not trying to mock anybody, but it was really hard. Like, we've paid certain amount to take the test, that means, you know, they are supposed to behave well with us, but the way they instructed, and nothing was clear there. We're not supposed, we're not, we did not even know if we are supposed to put our bags now or we put our bags later inside the locker. There was no system, and all of a sudden they were like, stand behind the line, you know. And I was like, what? So that was really rude. And but later on there was some local, another person who was a local, he handled it well, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, people are so stressed during the PT exam. I gave PT exam for 5 times, and I can imagine my situation personally. I was so stressed, like even like while going to the PT center and while sitting on before the start of my PT exam and while checking my mic position, and if the invigilator are rude to you, then what sort of mindset you have? You know, like it's complicated thing. I
Mm.
can understand it. Anusha,
Mm.
how can people connect with you and how can people know about the courses Milestone Study offers?
So first, the foremost media or the foremost platform we use is Facebook for all the communication. Even phone calls are accepted, but we'd prefer Facebook because at a time we can handle 10 customers on Facebook and Instagram, whereas in a call we can only handle one at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So phone calls are welcomed, if they don't understand anything on Facebook, but the primary focus is on Facebook and Instagram. You can just search Milestone Study over there, and just give us a message, say, hi, I'd like to join classes. May I know the course details? And they'll get all the details at once.
Have Milestone Study opened some website for PT exam?
Definitely. So I have to promote this thing because we have almost finished our website, milestonestudy.com.au. You can go there and search for PT practice, but it's in almost finished version, not like
Okay.
totally finished. We started 2 months ago from scratch, and in 2 months time we are able to give our websites to all our existing students. They are using the websites. It's, as I said, almost finished. There are some features needed to be added there, so it's not yet ready to be public, and non-students like out of Milestone, they are not able to use them, but soon, like in maybe 1 month time, I'd like to say 2 weeks, but because
Okay.
of technology and it could take 1 month to be all ready and to be public. So yeah, we are very excited because I think this is the first time any Nepali institute has started a website of their own to practice PTE. So I feel proud of it. I feel proud of all my team who's working on it, and let's see what happens.
I have seen on one of your social media, like you have tested lots of website, PT website, and when you give exam on PT website, you were not able to get the same score on different website. You gave the same answer, but you were not receiving the same score from different website. How can you make people believe that your website is trustworthy?
6 years of experience,
Okay.
21 plus test attempts,
Okay.
and over so many students, like again, I cannot count exactly, but definitely 5,000 plus students from 2020. And yeah, and all the experiences, I've put like how a baker puts all their knowledge to bake one cake, or to create a product. I've just done that, with all my experience, with student experiences, with my own experiences, and all my assumptions, all my theories and principles, because PD test is not clear about their marking. They have not set out such guidelines like in IELTS. So we as a website developer, marking developers, have to anticipate, have to assume a lot of things, like, okay, if this is the case, then what happens? And that's what is happening with all other websites also, and students don't understand that. What students feel is whatever they get in the website, it's the final verdict, and they're going to get that same marks in the exam, which does not happen too many times, because they get like, for example, one student got 50 in their practice website, they might get 80 in their exam, and vice versa. So for me, with all my experiences with my team, like, I've got a very strong IT that I can assure of, because he's working constantly. Their team is working constantly. Like, we literally stay up till 12 to 12:30 at night and finish our task. So I've got very strong feeling about it, and definitely will come with the best product in the market. So watch out for that, everyone.
Good luck for your milestone study PT website. I'm also looking forward for it. Any suggestion you want to give to those students who are preparing for PT, IELTS, and NATI exam, Anusha?
Come to Milestone.
You
That's
give a
one advice.
dedicated course, isn't it?
Yes, not just dedicated. Some people, so the difference between a dedicated course and the regular course is that some students do not need dedicated course. Those who have good base in grammar and pronunciation, they don't have to come for dedicated course. They can do with the regular course. So whatever course you choose, just pick it wisely. Wherever you go, just pick the course wisely. So also what happens is, because all these are related with fees, with money, we have a kind of biased look at that, and we think that, okay, why don't I take the cheapest course? Maybe I get the same value. But just remember that it's not like that. Okay, when you see the course is cheap, the value may not be the same. The value may not be the actual value that you should get. Okay, you may need a different course. So always ask yourself, instead of asking your friend or your family, what sort of course you need, because your friend will not know what course you need. They have their own other personal experiences. Especially if you have just met the friend here in Australia, you do not need their advice because they don't know your background. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's give a very blunt example here. To be honest, to be like truthful in this podcast of yours, because I want somebody who watching this take the best value out of this. So let's say I'm from a very like a government school background, and you are from a private school background, and we are friends. We just met here in college, and we vibe, and we go hang out together. Maybe we stay together, and now we are going for a PT institute. We want to enroll in a course, okay? And you are from a private school, so you know English, you know this and that. So you suggest me, Anusha, why don't we do it on YouTube? Okay, there's so much YouTube videos, so many of them, free website, free templates, free structures. You don't have to pay money. And I say, yeah, you're right. I should do free. And now both of us watch YouTube videos. You pass your test just watching YouTube videos because your English was good, and I failed watching the same YouTube videos, following the same template. Okay, now what do I feel? I feel, oh my God, I'm so bad in this. Okay, and now my self-esteem, my self-respect, all those things get hit, and now I don't even dare to go to a PT institute
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
because what I felt is I'm lesser than you. Okay, and if she knows that I'm going to a PT institute, that will be so, like I feel embarrassed. Okay, and then I don't go to a PT institute, and I kept taking test after test after test. Not even she doesn't now she doesn't advise me because she is clear. She has cleared her test, and I'm the one struggling. And she doesn't say that, okay, go to a PT institute. She doesn't care anymore. Okay, so always listen to yourself. And if that happens after your first attempt, you have to ask yourself why. What went wrong with my preparation and what went right with her preparation. Okay, so this is for everybody who's struggling.
Thank you, Anusha. It was great talking with you. Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations for having 123K subscribers on YouTube, and best of luck for your milestone study website. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so much,
Anusha.
Shristi.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.